Hey all, here are OS Reviews. Today we're taking a quick look at a pair of LED display smart glasses. Now, these are a little bit different from the more common smart glasses here in 2023, which have a display in them, such as the In-Real Airs, where you can use them as a pair of head-mounted screens, or even other bone conduction headphone-style smart glasses that we've seen in the past, which can play audio. But rather, as indicated in the name, these have LEDs built onto the front, similar to the Devoom Ditto speaker, where it uses pixel art to display different animations, which you can further program via a Bluetooth companion app on your phone. So this might be useful at concerts, certain parties, or just as kind of a conversation starter. And this is also the cheapest pair of quote-unquote smart glasses out of the concepts that we just talked about, since it's also a little bit more simple, but it sells for roughly under 30 bucks. And on a full charge, the LED display is rated to last for around 5 hours or so of continuous usage before you have to recharge it again. It's also worth mentioning that this version isn't just a white LED color. However, you can also pick a RGB version if you want customizable colors as well that sells for maybe just a few bucks more, and also one that has more of that futuristic curved visor look as well. Although this base model is the one which is the most common when floating around on the internet. Now, I'll also point out that even the concept of a pair of LED glasses aren't 100% new. They've been around for a few years now, but the cost has now just come down pretty significantly versus when they were brand new, that I thought it might be interesting just taking a quick look at it. And on the inside, we have just a quick user guide, downloading the companion app, the glasses themselves, as well as a quick charging cable, which is using micro USB. USB Type-C, of course, would have been preferred, but it is what it is. A quick look at the glasses themselves. They are constructed out of a polycarbonate plastic, so a bit on the light side, but feels all right. And if you look closely, there are these slits, which allow you to still look out and see the world around you as you're wearing them. So you still do get that visibility, although it's not actually tinted. So although it resembles sunglasses, there isn't kind of a darker layer of plastic on top. Although, to be fair, you probably wouldn't wear LED glasses at daytime since it will be hard to see anyways for the lights. Otherwise, the arms are where kind of the batteries are located, so just like bone conduction smart glasses, they're going to be a slightly heavier, but also not too shabby, I'd say, weighing about 167 grams, so actually quite similar to some of those smart AR glasses that we talked about. Though it is free from any branding or logos otherwise. Aside from on the top, there's just a power key that you can also press on to cycle through some animations saved onto the glasses memory. So you don't have to be paired 24/7 to the companion app to have it work. And then flipping them around, you'll also find the micro USB charging port on the other arm. And when the lights are flashing, you do get a touch of LEDs that might bleed in a little bit, but it's actually not too bad. So all in all, the wearing experience still feels relatively normal. I think the best thing about it is the nose piece. Even though you only get one, which is pre-attached, this silicone though is super thick and it's surprisingly comfy. So regardless if you have a higher or a lower kind of nose bone, it all felt secure in our testing and stayed in place even as I was kind of moving around. In fact, even if you wear prescription glasses, in front of these, they still stayed in place and offered a pretty secure fit, which was impressive because that's actually not really the case even with a lot of more expensive AR and VR glasses out there. Comfort is one of the biggest pain points, but at least on here, this is a pretty good nose piece. So now turning them on, the first animation is going to show you a status of the battery percentage remaining, and then it starts off into its sequence. First one built into memory is this one that says cool, that kind of bounces around, and you can tell that the white LEDs are actually quite bright. If you tap on it again, it will change into the next animation. This one says cheer up. So again, if you are trying to host some type of party, it might work. Some of these effects may actually look a little bit better if you're standing a bit further away, similar to other pixel art displays that we have seen. If you're looking at too close, you kind of lose the message. But all in all, not too bad. And this one here offers a little bit more of an animation that says run. And this one here is fireworks, which is also quite fun. And another one here, which is using emojis, and this one as well, which is also quite fun. This one is a wave pattern that ripples around, and surprisingly pretty convincing looking animations, despite the fact they are just made using these pretty sparse LEDs. This is another Running Man animation, hard eyes, another one here that says go, in a little bit slightly different font. Now the ripples of the waves are going in the other direction. This one as well, I think, also looks quite cool, is a rippling diamond or arrow pattern on each side, one that moves upwards now, and then this one is simulating blinking eyes, is also kind of cartoonish, and then once again into a frame-based pattern that will just illuminate the edges another one that kind of blinks and has a animation in between. This one here just goes A, B, C, D. It's a little bit random, but it is what it is. Heart emojis, another flashing eye symbol, and then a wave pattern. And then here is the Pac-Man one, which again I think is one of the better preset effects built on in, kind of a geeky touch. You can also use this as a display piece, so you don't have to wear it, obviously. You can just put it down onto your desk and use it as a small kind of LED display that is showing animations. Here's another flashing eye, a little bit more of a mad emoji, and then another pattern that is curved. Here's a bouncing ball that is kind of rolling around in the frame before going back into the repeating loop that we saw there from before. Here's just a close-up look at those individual LEDs, and here's what it looks like in a darker environment or room. You can see that the effect is going to be a lot more apparent, and it just becomes more dazzling and kind of eye-catching as well, casting a bit of a reflection, in fact, even on the other side. And since they are using LEDs, it doesn't have any really viewing angle issues to speak of, since just one color on this shade, so you can still see it from the edges. App here is called Funky Glasses Plus, and inside you have to turn on location services plus Bluetooth. Afterwards, you'll be able to connect to the nearest pair of glasses, and the app unlocks functions including controlling the brightness of the LEDs. So it is dimmable. This is the minimum brightness versus the maximum that we see here. By default, it's set around 80% that we saw there earlier. We can then tap on the A logo there. You can type in a message down below, and it's relatively fast to send it over. So we have hello world. It is kind of spaced apart though, so it takes a few scrolls to see the entire message, but still quite fun. And you can change the animation speed for making it move faster versus slower. The three rows that we see here, first one is kind of that bouncing effect. Second one is going to be a more of a direct scrolling effect, as you can see there, a little bit more legible, versus the first one isn't really scrolling, but then part of the word is going to be cut off there at the end. In total, you can enter messages up to 50 characters in length, so that can fit around 4 to 5 words in most cases. And we can hop into other modes just by swiping through this carousel and flicking over the cards, as you can see there. So here are some different presets that you're able to more easily select and quickly tap on to begin playing instead of looping around using the button on the top. Second tab includes static images, so it gives you a little bit more options that we didn't see there from before. Although it doesn't seem like you have the ability to upload your own photo and push it over. That is one thing I do hope can be added in a future software update. Since they have this DIY section, I assume it's what that is for, but right now I don't see really an upload button. Once more here into a music equalizer mode, so this will react to the rhythm using your phone's microphone. So for example, this first one here is now reacting to the music I'm playing back on this device, so you can go through a few different effects, whether you want a more wide bar for the columns of the visualizer or one that's a little bit more narrow, and play around with those effects. Final option here is Graffiti. So although you can't upload your own photos and convert them to the pixel art screen at the moment, you can draw. So for example, we can also say something like, hello, and it's kind of a 1-to-1 ratio of the image being shown on the glasses. We have 3 slots that you can save on the app, so you can have 3 messages that you can keep before overwriting them and then easily switch back and forth between them. So those are all of the core functions that we have here, and kind of the final one is just a inversion mode, and then the darker patches representing the inverse or the message. But it's kind of hard to make out, to be completely honest, unless you are looking really closely. This is more of kind of a secret mode, I would say. You can also have a quick eraser, by the way, to also erase individual pixels instead of overwriting the entire message. So that's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the LED display smart glasses or magic LED glasses, and I have to say it's a little bit more fun and customizable than I was expecting for something that is so inexpensive. Even though it is a novelty gadget at the end of the day and not a necessity by any means, still kind of a fun, quirky accessory gadget. You can learn more details if interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews.